Hello, my name's Elsa and I am part of the Diana Awards Young Advisors project. To kick off this exciting collaboration, we've decided to highlight the significance of World Mental Health Day with young people from across the Diana Awards programmes.
Here at the Diana Award, we believe that supporting each other with our mental health is a vital part of a young person's development and is crucial to their ability to engage in social action. Stay tuned to find out more about how conversations around mental health are so important to the lives of young changemakers participating in our programmes. But first, we asked Elsa, a fellow young advisor, why mental health is important to her.
Thanks, Gracie. I've personally faced a lot of struggles with my mental health and know how important it is to find communities of people who will support you on difficult days. It's really important to remember that we all have mental health and can experience both good and bad days with it, so I'm really pleased we're highlighting that today. But why is mental health important to you? Let's head over to hear from some of our young changemakers to find out.
Mental health awareness is important to me because mental health is something that we all have, just in the same way that we have our physical health. It is so important that everyone in society feels empowered and educated to not just look after their own mental health, but the mental health of others. And by raising awareness, we are enabling others to do just that.
Mental health is important to me because I've actually suffered with depression in my past, and it was a dark time and it held me back from a lot of opportunities which I could have taken, and I missed out on it. And overcoming that barrier really helped me now, because I got to see a much more brighter picture of the world, I guess, and I can do things happily, and that's why I'm part of the anti-bullying team as well, because I started to look more on the bright side.
Why is mental health important to me? So number one, mental health is important to me because I think mental health should be important to everyone. Everyone has mental health, and whether or not you're going through a very good period or a very difficult period, we all have mental health. What's very important is I work as a mental health practitioner in a child and adolescent mental health service, and I've seen the influx of young people who have come into our service and have been really, really struggling with whether it's other services or people around or schools, just not being aware of how difficult it can be. So my job when it comes to raising mental health awareness is to raise those alarm bells and raise as much signal signs that people are struggling and people need help, whether this is from fellow charities such as this or through my role as a co-producer and creating that space and those opportunities for young people to speak up and to show that there are different ways for them to express themselves.
So for me, mental health is important because it's the state of your mental well-being, and basically your mind is an important aspect of your life. It's what guides you, directs you. It's what basically gives you the instructions that you need to manage on a day-to-day life. And having mental ill health, I think, is one thing that people don't recognize that they have, or people don't really focus on helping to basically deal and manage with it. So mental health for me is important because of how it affects your mind, and also how it can basically change and switch your moods just by a simple image or a simple trigger, and that can be anything.
For World Mental Health Day, we were especially keen to gain different perspectives from young people across our range of programmes. To gain insight from our anti-bullying youth board members, we want to know how you maintain your well-being when creating change in your school or community.
I generally stay in touch with a counsellor, whether it's on a professional level or if it's more on a community-based level, like a charity work sort of group, or I tend to either go to like a school counsellor. It really depends on what is open and what is available to me. But there's also, of course, the obvious answer of family and friends, as they're all very supportive for me and they always have my back, and I'm very grateful for them.
What I tend to do is I tend to take a moment from the situation, and I make sure to separate my personal life and my work within my community. So whenever I'm doing any, it's really just separating my personal life with what I do in my community. So making sure they're two different situations
and I don't let my feelings get involved in my work.
Our Diana Award recipients are helping to create change all across the world. So we wanted to know, how do you support your well-being when engaging in social action?
When looking after my own mental health, I was so lost with how to do this for so long, because getting mental health support can be so inaccessible to so many people. Not only can it be financially inaccessible, but also it's really scary asking for help, which I guess is the whole reason that I created an app, because I was like, I need to bridge this gap. And through that, I was able to launch an app with everything that you could need.
Firstly, if things are getting tough, I share my worries with someone, whether that's a friend or a family member. Remember, speaking out is a sign of strength. Secondly, I reflect on my progress. I look at the good things and also the bad things and improve on them in the future. Lastly, I take time out to relax, to support my mental well-being. I do the things that I love, like reading, writing, and also spending time with my family.
This year's theme for World Mental Health Day is Mental Health is a Universal Right. I believe that mental health is a universal right, as we all have mental health and need to maintain and look after ourselves. This can be done through our own personal practices that work best for us. Why do you believe that mental health is a universal right?
The concept of human rights is that everyone has a right to live a fulfilling, dignified, and worthy life that's free from any form of discrimination. Everyone has a right to work, to have good education, to freely express themselves amongst many others. And equally, everyone has a right to good mental health care and mental health education. And if this right is infringed, it will definitely affect all the other human rights that are there. It's very important for individuals, communities, governments to make mental health care and education not only a national priority, but a global priority as well.
It is important to understand that mental health is a universal right just as much as physical health, because it's so important to a person's well-being and their dignity to be able to go out and get the diagnosis that they need and the support that they need, and to feel like they aren't being ostracized by the community just because they have this diagnosis. By understanding that everyone is entitled to receiving the support that they need when they are going through a period of their time where they're feeling any kind of mental distress, is something that everyone should recognize and something that should be honored and given and provided to every single person.
As an organisation which champions young people across the globe, the Diana Award believes strongly in everyone feeling connected to their mental health and having support around them when they need it. Young advisors wanted to highlight World Mental Health Day this year to show that we are not alone in our mental health experiences and to shine a light on the different perspectives of young people at the Diana Award.
Thank you so much to everyone who has shared their powerful thoughts and experiences with us this World Mental Health Day. Even though World Mental Health Day is coming to an end, we must not forget to keep the conversation going. If you're in need of support, reach out to someone you trust. If you don't want to talk to someone you know, the Diana Award is there for you. Just text DA to 85258 to receive free 24/7 confidential support from our advice messenger service. From the young advisors and all of us here at the Diana Award, thank you for listening. Stay safe and keep the conversations going.